Hey guys, welcome back to the Honest Edit podcast with Holly of Organized DFW, my beautiful partner Scarlett with White Space Methods. Today we're bringing you a very close partner and friend of ours, Julia Brantley. She's the owner of Clean Place Pros. We're at Scarlett's new house and our new podcast space. And today we're going to talk about something that I think affects all small business owners. What clients say they want and what they really want.
This is true.
So, Julia, tell us a little bit about your background and a little bit about your company, and then we can dive in talking about like how we partner together.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for having me. Having a cleaning company has been something I fell into straight out of childcare and caregiving as it just became a need. And as you guys probably know, you develop more needs from your clients and you just deliver, We're all about solution-based productivity. And so I think I missed your question. What was your question?
No, I think that's right. It's telling us about your company. I think the solution-based is really nice because that's what we do as well. So
we clean top to bottom. Whether you're looking for a standard clean, a deep clean, a moving clean, we handle it all. And that's really where the name comes from, is Clean Place Pros. Because if you have a place, we clean it. We clean boats. We clean, yes, your home, your luxury residential home, but we also take it to commercial spaces as our clients have offices. And so we're constantly filling a need, which I know you guys can probably understand, and just knowing what those needs are. It's like the expectation versus reality.
Yes.
And so that's what we're all about.
That's a big one. So the reason why we love Julia and her team is because we often go into homes and spaces and they're like, just clean it up. And so there's a difference between cleaning and and organizing.
Yes.
So usually there needs to be a declutter of getting rid of all the trash, all of the things. I've had 2 beers, so I might cuss a little. It's been a long day. So like you can get everything decluttered, and then that's when the cleaning comes in, which means like the spray bottle and the wipe down, and then we can go and organize. So
yeah, and I think you said it well that way too, because you don't want to clean before we come in, declutter, organize, really get the space basically where everything belongs. And then you can see where you do need to wipe down and get in those nitty gritties and get really detailed. So that's a great point. It's good for us to organize first, and then you guys come in and just polish it up.
Because I don't always want, I do the dusting and I do the wipe down, but it needs a little something extra. And so that's why we work really well together. And then we can provide the client with a fully functional space.
Yeah.
It's clean, it's organized, they know where everything is, and there's not like something sticky on the side. So
yeah, and to your point of making it sequential, I think that's where an alliance like ours makes so much sense. Is to our clients, we're delivering a full service. Because without that, I mean, I've had clients that book us twice when they could have booked us once. And while it may seem great for us, it's like, oh, we got 2 bookings from the same client. Was it effective? And does that effectiveness benefit them? That gives us more lifetime value.
You hear that, folks? We are thinking about your pocketbook, and we are wanting to make things streamlined and efficient for you, and not just keep booking and kicking the can down the road. So
because we want that productivity as well. We don't want to just be wasteful with our time and with y'all's time or money.
Yeah.
So it's good to know the scope when you come in, and even when a client can't articulate it, what do you feel like you, because we know our method on how we come in and we overview a space, and we can basically chop it up to be like, okay, why don't we approach this first? What do you guys do when you come in and try to figure out those expectations on what they're wanting versus maybe the reality, which is the scope of the work?
Yeah. That's a good point. Is we come in and we have our general consensus. We know what the client has initially said, but over time, as we build what we're calling our lifetime value, we discover their habits. We discover needs that they may not have realized, that once we suggest, they feel cared for. Hey, I noticed that this area gets really dusty. I know you didn't ask us to clean there. Is it okay we touch these Hermes tea sets? And sometimes you get a no, or you get it only if it's you handling it, and you develop that trust. And so building that reality and meeting those expectations, it takes time. But once you get there, what we do is, like I said, develop a sense of what their habits are. We may have a client and, they have children that have specific things they do. And we know, okay, we're going to go to these rooms first. We're going to clean there first. Because at the end of the day, especially in the summertime, those kids are going to go back to that room.
Yes.
Or we have toddlers, so we go to their playroom first. And we know to disinfect their toys, even if the parents didn't ask for that. And so the scope of work, it may not affect the price whenever we discover their habits, but it definitely affects the quality because now we're more thorough.
It's like working with a good therapist. It like takes a little bit to get started, but then they know like, okay, she's going to revert back to that. And she's not talking about that because she has a wound or whatever. And so I love that because having a little one at home, I like can't always articulate this, that needs to be sanitized or this, whatever. And so having someone that just knows how I run the house and what are the places that need to be touched every time is such a relief.
Knowing where things go is a huge deal for cleaners. We are not the
Tell us
organizers.
about that.
We are not the organizers. And so before discovering how great the alliances of cleaners and organizers come together, it was and is for a lot of cleaners, not us, a problem because now you're shoving all the toys into one bin. Or you don't know where everything goes in the kitchen, so all these bowls are getting mixed with strainers, and it's not a lack of thought. It's not a lack of attention to detail. It's that those homes don't have a structure and a system that we can follow. And so that's where I think that an organizer and a cleaner are like married.
Yes, I love that. I always feel, and I know that you'll probably get this a lot, but like even when I come over to client, they're like, well, let me tidy first or let me clean before the cleaner comes. And I'm like, that's not the point.
Right.
If you have things labeled and everything has a home, it's going to make it easier for you. But then also they can work to clean it up. And I feel like every time the cleaner comes before and like we forget or something, my husband and I are like, clear off the counter. And I'm like, we just need to keep up with our shit and our method at home, and then it'll make it easier for them to come in and put everything where it needs to go. So yeah, that's a thing. If you're out there, let us know that if you clean before the cleaner comes.
I actually used to, but I feel like it's a way for us to get to know how messy it could get. If you're cleaning up and shoving things in places, then we can't see maybe what the actual root of the problem is.
Right.
And I tell clients all the time when we walk in, because they're getting embarrassed and they're like, oh, I had a bad day, and oh, we're doing this, and yeah, life happens. Like, you're not going to be perfect and neatly clean. And I always say, look, if you were perfect, we wouldn't have a career. It's okay. This is what we're here for. And I need to see how messy something can get so we can figure out, like you said, how do you operate? What are the habits and what can we change to elevate, the system?
Because y'all are trying to come in and like actually clean.
We come in and disinfect everything.
Yeah. And so when you're having to like put away papers and dirty clothes and all of that, it really takes
away your time to get your job done.
Well, and it can. And then, but here's the thing. When you guys come in and you develop that long-term solution, even if there are papers that day that have to get put away, we know where they go. So the homeowner isn't, coming into their office and they're like, okay, everything's clean. I open a cabinet. Whoa, a tornado. It's like, hold on. Their teams came in, they labeled everything, and the cleaners are thoughtful enough to continue that. And if they can, or for some reason, habits happen, that's where organizers come out in a consistent basis.
Yeah. And I want to talk about more of what you guys do, but to finish this point up is like, I have worked with so many cleaners that can't even clean because
it's too cluttered.
And they don't know where things go, and they don't want to move all the stuff to wipe it down or really scrub it.
Yes.
And it's really hindering their beautiful work and what they're trying to accomplish because there's just too much crap in their way.
And then you come home to a clean house, but there's still stuff everywhere that you have to put up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. When a client calls and they're like, I just need a light cleaning, what do they usually need versus what they want?
Okay. Immediately off the bat, I want to say that doesn't exist. Well, hold on. Usually the client means, hey, I keep up with myself and I just need someone to come in and refresh on the things I don't handle. Like maybe they don't need to scrub their shower as often, or it's not a part of their routine, but they have a cleaning routine. And so we do have a lot of clients where they make sure they load their own dishwasher. They like to do their own dishes. It can help the psychology of a person to do their own chores.
Yeah.
But when they're coming in and they say, Julia, I just need a light cleaning, my first question is, are there areas you don't want to be touched? Because we do top to bottom. So that means if we notice a fixture is dusty, we're not going to leave it alone just because you said light cleaning. So when we detail the scope of work, we send the proposal to the client, it includes a longer list of what we do. But then we have to pay attention to the details, because are they saying a light cleaning, but they really like their closet to be pristine from the great organizing you just did. So we wipe down the shelves. Now, hold on. Wipe down is a little bit of a controversial term in my world, because wipe down does not mean disinfect. Soap scum. Dust, when you try to wipe it down, it gets stuck. And painters will paint over it when they do their touch-ups twice a year.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so much. And so we have a lot to think about. And one of those things is a light cleaning to us means we are touching everything, but we may have less cluttered focus areas. And when I say cluttered focus areas, I'm talking about like deeply needing to scrub grout, or touching every single corner with a fine brush because maybe it's not as much buildup.
Yeah.
And so that's what a light cleaning means for us. And it's going back to the point of, what are the details that they may not initially mention when they expect? Because when someone wants a clean home, really they're just saying, hey, can you figure out what I need? Can you please help me figure out?
Girl,
I
yes.
feel clean.
Yeah. Same. Same.
Yeah, and we have to ask those questions, just like you guys, to figure it out. Yeah, and help them to find their expectations.
Yeah.
Because when an expectation is not met because we didn't ask those questions or go, in depth, then it gets misaligned, and we don't like disappointing our clients.
Yeah.
None of us do.
And some clients want to have those conversations with you, and some of them do not.
Yes.
And so it's like,
You're like, just make it better, and they walk away. And I'm like, whoa, wait, come back here.
but
Yes.
Come here.
I need your info on that.
Details.
Okay, well, that makes sense. We had like examples on here of like wants a light cleaning but expects the baseboards to be done inside of Climax, blinds, all of those, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want, but that's not. So I think that making clear communication, and so that's what I love so much about your scope and your quoting process, because you can see, oh, there's a dust bunny up there. They probably haven't looked up there, but I see it. And then you put it on there, and then y'all will address the top to bottom.
Well, and we keep the initial walkthrough super simple. Most of our clients are very busy, and so we oftentimes have just a virtual walkthrough, or maybe they just want to send a video. Sometimes they don't want to do anything. They just want to tell you, give you the address, and then you figure it out. Well, once we come in and we have touched every surface, we can then get to know the details later. And oftentimes, so something that a lot of people don't talk about is the use of cloths. So we use a specially formed microfiber cloth that actually picks up dirt as it goes while we're using disinfectants. And so each cleaning of say a 4,000 square foot house, we're using at least 100 microfiber cloths.
Wow.
Yes.
And
we
doing the laundry for that.
Well, and we do. And we have a specific solution that we clean the cloths with in between every single cleaning. Well, and sometimes for different clients, they may want us to only use their cloths. So we have to account for the time that we clean them after we leave, because we don't want to leave their home with dirty cloths laying in a bin for them to do later.
Right.
It defeats the purpose.
We appreciate that. I will tell you, I have a pet peeve about in people's houses that when they use those Swiffer cloths and then they use the Swiffer cloth and then they put it back in the box. I'm like, I get reduce, reuse, recycle, but homie, that is not the point.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and then you're like leaving it in here and it's just getting Yeah, they put it back in the. Yeah, I can't.
Swiffer is a temporary solution. And I'll tell you, we never use those like one and done cloths. We're always using a steam mop, a microfiber, like dry mop, or even like
You just taught me about.
yes.
I don't even know what that meant.
Exactly. Well, and sometimes those moistened wipes that leave streaks on the floor, and that's not the presentation we want.
And they're toxic. We're not getting into like cleaning chemicals today, but we just had a conversation with Axel about toxic in homes, and one of the biggest thing is cleaning supplies. So you want to use those paper towels all you want, but use a cleaning cloth that you can then clean and then put back in the cabinet. But yeah, that and it's like I'm going to say it, the Swiffer, like it came out several years ago that's like toxic to dogs, and dogs were having seizures and stuff because they were walking on it. So like if your dog's doing that, your baby's doing that, you're doing that. So don't use that stuff.
Well, and that's another point too of like preferred products by clients.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that many times where some clients want completely unscented products. You know, they have toddlers, they have pets, or maybe they're just more conscious of their health. And some clients, they're like, please use bleach, please use everything that you can. And so we have to prepare regardless because we do provide our own products. And a lot of times clients will want to still keep a shelf of their own so we can carry it around in caddies. But that's a major point of concern is making sure expectation and reality, making sure we understand what they want in their home.
Right.
Some, like I said, they want unscented products. I've got a client at the moment, you know, she has only natural fibers in her home. And so we have to care and pay attention to what products we use. You know, scented products, kids have allergies. They don't have pets, another allergy thing. And like I said, some clients are like, please use Tide and bleach and things like that. And so that's a conversation, you know, we don't want to try to pry and convince them to use different products. But at the same time, because we are an eco-conscious company, we do make those recommendations.
Right.
So you just touched on a couple of points, and it was actually perfect timing because I'm about to ask about going into more of those details. But two questions here. One, I want everyone to know exactly what you guys do in providing like the type of services. And you had explained that to me a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, it was like my little light bulb went off. So and I just loved how you explained almost like a tier structure. So can you kind of outline, you know, the service tier structure that you guys provide? And then I will ask my next question. That's kind of, I don't know, I want to go back to the whole cleaning supply product thing before we move into details.
Absolutely. So no matter what tier or structure we do for any of our clients, it's with the same level of thought and intention. It just amounts to what responsibility is expected of us. So in our first kind of tier and introduction or welcoming, you could call it, a client will just want a simple cleaning. And we're back to the light cleaning. We're still touching every surface. But we kind of get to the next tier where there is a lot of buildup. And, you know, we get into mental health when we talk about this with our clients where we want to be personable, because I've had clients where they're, you know, for example, one woman, she lost her husband, and getting to a point of going back and cleaning all the surfaces in her home was very difficult for her. And so coming in and providing that level of comfort and care, there's a lot more scum and residue from those Swiffers and build up on the baseboards. And so that kind of amounts to a deeper cleaning. And so we can manage between, we've got just our introduction cleaning, you know, they've kept up with the place, maybe they weren't satisfied with their previous cleaners, we're coming into an already kept home. And then we've got maybe a less kept home that just, they need more TLC in the beginning. And then of course we can maintain that from there. Well, then we can also come in and manage the whole project of the home. We can manage emergencies beyond the cleaning. We can manage home staff and really just take care of the client's home as
It's almost
a whole.
like a house manager role.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Which I liked that you guys provide that. I thought that was super cool.
Let's outsource as much as possible.
Honestly, yeah.
Yes. Well, you know, taking care of, especially in homes that require more vendor maintenance, taking care of, you know, ongoing tasks. Hey, we have the plumber that comes 4 times a year, or the HVAC needs to be looked at twice a year, and maintaining a schedule for the home's well-being, because you invest in your property and you want it to last for years. You don't want to have to, deal with something that was an error of maintenance, we could call it.
I love that.
When we can just come in and take care of the whole thing.
I mean, we've just moved into this home and, it's a new build and there's a lot of new stuff that I'm even learning. I mean, we're in clients' homes all the time and we help them with a lot of house manager stuff as well, because we're helping to train, or maybe we're just wearing an extra hat that day.
Yes.
But I'm learning a ton, and I feel like it's a bit overwhelming to know that you guys to help do that with the maintenance. So maintenance might be changing out the air filters, or what the hell is this vinegar thing that I have to pour down and it's like connected to my sink, and I'm like, I gotta clean out the line so it doesn't get algae, and it's just like learning those extra bit of details. She's laughing. I'm like, seriously, what the hell?
It's like adulting for real. And I also feel like having the maintenance, like having someone remind you that the maintenance of the house. I've owned several different houses. I've in different age, like different way, like different, what the fuck in the word am I trying to say? different ages of houses, and like stuff. Some stuff needs to be taken care of all the time, and some stuff needs to be taken care of periodically. But having someone just remind you of that,
Absolutely.
and being like, hey, we, did a lot of dusting today, so we went ahead and changed the AC filter for you. Like, that is huge, because with all the other stuff that we have going on in our head, unless you have those like written down. I had a client one time that scheduled out on their Google Calendar all of the maintenance things, like made reminders for the year of like, clean the dishwasher, clean this, run this line, all of that. And I was like, he's hired forever.
Well,
who's like an engineer.
But I don't want to do it by myself.
Well, of course.
Because I got to sit there and really brain dump. And then I'm like, well, what am I missing?
Well, and not only having a plan, but having a report of the previous quarter is important. What went wrong? Did you have, speaking from experience, 23 gas leaks, and you had 2 weeks of repairs that had to be handled with no hot water because your whole house runs on gas? Yeah, okay. We handled that in the second quarter. So now we're in the third quarter. Are we making sure to maintain the service that was previously done? Because you've got warranties, you've got after-sales service, and you have to hold those people accountable for, the 23 gas leaks that cost $25,000. And so when we look at the maintenance of a home, it's really like taking care of a baby.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The same level of attention to detail and care. And what is great about our tier system, I will say, is that no matter what tier or level that you're at, our teams are always paying attention to the details. I get text messages all the time, even if, they're not at the moment looking for home management, or they just moved into a home and they're navigating it. Hey, Julia, this drywall doesn't have paint over it. Should I let them know? Absolutely. Hey, this door hinge, it's not closing. It might be swelling. Paying attention to those details, these people really care about.
Yeah.
It matters to us.
The best. This is the best thing you can spend your money on for a house. I feel like my girlfriend and I had a conversation about this the other day, that we're expecting so much out of our homes lately. Like, they've got to look a certain way. We got to have all of our shit organized. It needs to be clean. We are going to entertain. We're going to, there's just so much that we expect out of our home, but unless you're actually putting time into it, and we're the people that put the time into it, it's not going to work out. I mean, I found mold in a client's home, and I was like, this is something that needs to be addressed. Yeah. They're elderly. They haven't had a cleaner for a long time. I'm like, this is going to make y'all sick. Yeah. And so I think having another partner, and we also understand that what Scarlett and I do and what Julia does is a privilege. To have the extra funds, we acknowledge that. Yes, if you guys weren't dirty and disorganized, we wouldn't have jobs. That's right. So we appreciate you paying for us to do that, because that's what we really want to do. But I think that home ownership, or like, and not even owning a home. I mean, owning a home, there's so many things, but just moving into a new place and thinking about, when's the last time I've looked at the inside of the toilet, or when's the last time that something's been cleaned? Because again, it goes back into this natural place that I'm really trying to get to for my life, is just making sure that I'm as clean and as well low tox as possible. And I'm not, like bringing shoes in the house is a whole thing. You got kids, you got all the things. So having someone there that's going to see, there's dust in that corner of that baseboard. So as a child, I was Cinderella. I had to do all the housework before I could do any of the things. And I had to like clean the baseboards and clean the frame of the doors. So it is a thing for like, and I always had to make my bed. So I'm like, I'm never fucking make my bed. I don't care who's a millionaire. I will make it if I'm entertaining to make it look nice.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. And I'm like, I don't want to touch the baseboards. I would.
You give yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.